Hi guys, so I'm going to show you the stances and guards of the 1570 version of Joachim Meyer's manual. I'm taking this directly from victornow.com, but there is also the book The Art of Combat, a German martial arts treatise of 1570 by Joachim Meyer, and is translated by Jeffrey L. Forgang. It's really accessible and you can buy it on Amazon. So here we go, and here are the guards and stances. Ox. The high parts are guarded with the ox, which is two-moded, right and left. Thus one can stand in the ox in two modes, namely the right and left modes. The right ox will first be described. Stand with your left foot forward, holding the sword with the hilt next to your head high on the right side, so that your forward point is directed against your opponent's face. For the left ox, reverse this, namely stand with your right foot forward, hold your hilt near your head on its left side as said above. Thus, you have been told of both ox guards or stances, which is being shown by the left figure of illustration B above. Plow, or Flug. The low parts are guarded with the plow, whose two modes are similar figures for two sides, the right and the left, and so are named the right and the left plow, and both will become for you nothing else than stabs outward from below. The right plow is described as follows. Stand with your right foot forward, hold your weapon with the hilt near your forward knee, and your point pointing in your opponent's face, as if you intend to stab him from below. While you are in the right plow, step forward with the left foot forward and stand similarly to be in the left plow. The right plow is shown by the figure on the right of the above illustration. Roof, or Tag. The guard of the roof, which is also known as the high guard, is explained as follows. Stand with your left foot forward, hold your sword high over your head so its point is directly above. Consider the figure on the left of the image above, illustration C, which indicates how one can operate from above, that all strikes can be vents from the roof or high guard, which is why this guard is named the roof. Fool, or Alba. Fool is my adaptation of the word jester, a name which leaves so much to be desired, in that from the stance no successful finishing strikes can be made. One just uses them to gain an opening against the opponent through displacements to block strikes, which can be used to measure a foolish and naive person who is not ready for counter-strikes to be struck against them. This will now be described. Stand with the left leg forward, hold your sword with the point stretched out in front of you, aimed at the ground in front of your forward foot, with the short edge above, the long edge below. Thus you stand in this guard rightly, as you can see in the illustrated figure above on the right. Wrathful Guard, or Zornhut. The Wrathful Guard is known as such since the stance has a wrathful bearing, as will be shown. Stand with your left foot forward, hold your sword out from your right shoulder so that the blade hangs behind you to threaten forward strikes. And mark this well, that all strikes out from the guard of the ox can be intercepted from the wrathful stance. Indeed, leading from this stance shows unequal bearing from which one can entice onward, whereupon one can move quickly against the other as needed, as shown by the figure in illustration E on the left. Long point, or Langort. Stand with your left foot forward, hold your weapon with outstretched arms out in front of your face, so that you stand and point forward at your opponent's face, and thus you stand in the guard of the long point, which you can see in the picture in illustration A. Changer, or Vexel. This guard shall now be fully described. Stand with your right foot forward, hold your weapon with the point or weak stretched out from close at your side, aimed at the ground, so that the short edge stands towards your opponent, such as can be seen from the right figure in illustration D above. Close guard, or Nebenhut. To put yourself in this guard, stand with your left foot forward, hold your sword close to your right with the point to the ground and the pommel above, and with the short edge against you. Iron door, or Eisenport. What the right iron door is, which you will find out should you go farther into rapier fencing, that while it is used in stabbing with the sword as by us Germans, this guard is also easily deflected and sent to the ground. Although at this time it is used by the Italians and other nations, it covers like the barrier guard, and so of the iron door no further report is therefore required. There is a basic underlying division, and here I will shortly clarify both, and so will now describe the iron door. Stand with your right foot forward, hold your sword with the grip in front of the knee, with straightly hanging arms, that your point stands upward and out at your opponent's face. In addition, keep your sword in front of you to shut like an iron door, and when you stand with feet wide and so come to your lower body, you can clear all strikes and stabs out and away from you. However, the barrier guard is when you hold your sword with crossed hands in front of you with the point at the ground, which is seen from the figure in illustration F. Hanging point, or Hangentort. Since you'll need to be in the correct hanging point during the work, look at the figure to the right of the above illustration. Even if the arms needn't be as stretched as here will be shown, still put yourself into the named guard. Stand with the right foot forward, hold your weapon with outstretched arms before you, so that the blade hangs somewhat towards the earth. This stance is very close to the ox in similar form, only different in that the ox your arms are strongly held in high mode, but here shall be directly outstretched before your face, letting the sword hang towards the earth. Therefore it is named hanging point. Key, or Schlüssel. The key is shown by the left figure in illustration D. Stand with your left foot forward and hold your sword with the halved and crossed arms in front of your chest, so that the short edge lies on your left arm, and the point is aimed at your opponent's face. Thus is the stance or guard rightly made. Unicorn, or Einhorn. Come into pre-fencing with your left foot forward, wings out from both sides, as if you would stand in the forenamed key guard. Drive with crossed hands over your right, so that the point is aimed high above and outward. Thus it is named unicorn, and stand as shown by the figure on the right of illustration E. And thus are named the count of the stances or guards. And now all in the work phase will be fully and shortly examined. After this point in all fencing, you will strike, strive, displace or float to work for what you wish, and not remain in a stance, but always drive from one to the other, as one or the other must soon become afflicted. Thus you especially must move on to keep the working initiative, and will lead out from one to another of the above cited stances, which I will clarify with a few words about the strikes through the lines or pathways. So that was directly from the 1570 edition, which can be found on the Victinauer website. There is the transcribed version by Michael Chidester, and the draft translation by Mike Ransmussen. I hope you enjoyed that, and I shall see you guys on the next one. Cheers, folks.